Hi there, I'm Lisa Redfern, and this is Gingersnap, a conversation and a cookie with a creative Mainer. Today, my creative Mainer is Michael Perkins. He is based in this area. We're here at the lovely Curtis Library. Look at where they let us use the fireplace room. Isn't that lovely?
It's gorgeous. I'm so hot.
It's warm in here. It's cold outside, but it's warm in here. So Michael is the host and creator of this really wonderful series that he's been doing and that he will continue to be doing called Voices from Life in Maine. And I'm gonna let you tell them more about that.
Sure. Just before I moved here 25 years ago from Vermont, I had had one night a week where we had Voices in the Mountains, and it was an open mic night for singers, poets, and storytellers. And when I came to Maine, I really missed that because it's such a community, bringing the community together type thing. And it's really wonderful. Lots of surprises every night. Anyway, it's Voices from Life in Maine, and it's open mic night for singers, songwriters, poets, storytellers, and listeners alike.
Lovely. And you told me about a really wonderful experience where there was a woman from Europe who came and said she felt very much at home here. Are you
Yeah, no, we
liberty to tell that story?
We can talk with it.
It's very sweet.
Just one of the wonderful things that happens there is people don't initially come. They initially come to listen, and they actually end up, after a week or two, maybe joining in. A woman one night in the middle of the night, an intermission, came over to me and she said, "Michael, I want to talk." And so she got up and she told her story. She had moved here, immigrated from Germany when she was 8 years old as a little girl. And she got up in front of everybody in the room that day and said, after immigrating when I was 8, I've been here. She's somewhere probably in her 50s. She said, "This is the first time I've ever felt like I belonged here." And people, there were tears on everybody's faces, and it was really a beautiful time. And it's what I thrive on, that kind of surprise, that kind of wonderful story, and that kind of reaction from people that are there that night.
That's really, one of the powers of bringing people together and sharing stories and songs. It's really transforming, I think.
Yeah, I think that I have a skill of bringing people together. I just think up an idea and gather the players that could play, and I've done that over and over in my life.
That's great. And Michael does it here at Curtis Library, actually. And when is the next one?
The next one is January 31st. We go from 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock at night, and it's a monthly Wednesday. I think they're going to be consistently the last Wednesday of each month.
Okay. That's good. That makes it easy to remember.
But check out the library schedule if you're unsure. And if you see these posters around town, backwards posters,
just think
these
of the
posters
lighthouse.
around town, think of the lighthouse, and that's us. And you can tell when the next one is going to be.
That's fantastic. That's great. So, Michael, when did you first come to Maine and why?
I moved here from Maine in 1993, and I did a lot of things, but I was really interested in woodworking. And living in Vermont, I couldn't compete with the prices in Vermont. I couldn't make any money making any furniture. I moved here to Maine, and it changed everything. And I was able to have a woodworking business, successful one for 25 years. And that's what brought me here. Actually, it's not what brought me here, but I can't.
It's why you stayed.
Well, I was moving from Vermont. I had artwork. I left at my sister's in North Conway, and she wasn't going to be around until night, so I drove to Portland, and basically I never went back.
Wow.
And that's knowing that I had a job on a schooner. I was first made on a schooner.
What schooner?
It was Northern Cross. It was a schooner that I met. I met the skipper. It was in Lake Champlain, and they were going to take it south. And I'd run a charter boat in the islands in the 80s, and they wanted somebody that had sailed in the islands, in the Caribbean. So I had that job waiting for me, and I went to Portland, and I never went back.
Oh my gosh.
Go figure.
Wow. All right, Michael, do you know your very first word? And if you don't know, what do you think it might have been?
Oh, doggy.
Did you have a dog when you were little?
Oh, yes. I had Tippy when I was a kid.
Tippy.
Yeah,
That's
probably
cute.
doggy.
All right, well, my first word was cookie. So
Okay.
for that reason and for other reasons, we have a cookie here at Gingersnap. This, go ahead.
Oh, thank you.
This is the let's see, oatmeal raisin from the Veggie Corner in Harpswell.
Loving it.
I'm gonna let you guys look at the fire for a second while I chew this. All right. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Theresa. Teresa's the baker there.
Well, thank you,
At
Theresa.
Veggie Corner. All right. When you were a kid or an adolescent, did you have a really cool car, which if you could, you'd get it back?
Yes.
What did you have?
Believe it or not, just down the street from my house was a used car dealership. And this was in 1965, I believe.
So there were a lot of cool cars at that time.
And on the lot was a red Porsche 1600 Super. And I looked in the window, and there was a price on the window. It only had 20,000 miles on it, and
Whoa.
it was $900.
Oh, come on.
I begged my mom to help me buy it. We bought it. And it pretty much got totaled out a month later. My first car.
That's a sad car story.
Gone but not forgotten.
Oh my gosh. All right, moving on to books, which is a perfect thing to talk about in this lovely library. Do you have a book you recommend again and again?
Oh, always, yeah. Since I've come to Maine, it's amazing. Actually, even when I was living in Connecticut, where I grew up, my mom worked at a library, and she brought books home. There were poems from Wilbert Snow. Wilbert Snow. Wilbert Snow. Not a lot of Mainers know about Wilbert Snow. One of the first books was Wilbert Snow, Maine Poet. But Wilbert Snow was a Maine lobsterman. His family used to come up every summer. He was a Maine lobsterman. He was known as a Maine poet.
Oh.
He was a Wesleyan professor, Wesleyan Connecticut professor, and he was also at one time the governor of Connecticut.
Really?
His poems, and I wish I could read one now, but his poems are to die for. They tell about seacoast life in a time that we don't know about anymore. We just, it's before all of this new stuff came around. Wilbert Snow, Wilbert, Snow. And Maine Library or Curtis Library has a couple of copies.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for that. We haven't had a lot of poetry recommendations, so that's lovely.
It's easy, really easy reading. Wonderful man.
All right, moving on to something close to my heart, music. Is there an album or a song that you come back to again and again and again?
You know there is.
Now I do.
I've been singing it for days. I'm going to sit right down and write myself a letter.
I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter. That one. Okay, Michael Perkins, if a movie was made about your life,
oh my word,
who would you like to have star as you?
Okay, well, let's see.
And what genre would it be?
What genre? What gender?
What genre or
genre?
You can answer both.
Oh, genre. It would be, well, the story of my life is wide and varied, but I could see it being played by a woman or a man.
It would be a great movie. I think for a half of it one and half of it the other.
Well, you gave me a chance to think about this, and just because I love her so much, forget about how I look, but Hilary Swank, that would be my first choice for a female. And because I never got over Dances with Wolves. Definitely Kevin Costner.
Okay, great. Good pick. All right, so tell everybody once again when the next Voices show.
January 31st on a Wednesday night from 7 to 9 is Voices from Life in Maine.
Right here.
Right here. And all you have to do is show up. If you're a poet, if you're a singer-songwriter, or you want to tell a story, you just have to show up, sign a little piece of paper telling me how long you're going to play, or sing, whatever, and that's it. And people bring fresh baked goods too, like cookies. It's kind of a fun thing to do, to share. So you don't have to fresh bake anything. If you don't have anything, you can stop at the market or not. And
you can come in.
And you're welcome. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. You've been Gingersnapped. How do you feel? Feel different?
Thank you so much. That was really nice. Thank you.
You are very, very welcome. All right, so this has been Gingersnap, Conversation in the Cookie with a Creative Mainer. This is Michael Perkins. Again, this is has been episode 77. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with Monica Wood, who's a wonderful author down in Portland. And if you want to know more about me or my music, you can go to lisaredfern.com.
Lisa, it was so enjoyable. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. That was really fun. And thanks again to Curtis Library and letting us use the very toasty fireplace room. This has been Gingersnap.